Welcome to the island of Alruco. We're playing Jagged Alliance The Boardgame. I'm your host Adam, but enough about that. You're here for Jagged Alliance, not to hear about me. Welcome to Alruco. Once again, apologies for how I pronounce Alruco. I will probably change it every time I say it. Maybe I'll just keep rolling that R. Who knows? But here we are on the island of Alruco, and we are trying to liberate it from a dictator. We have a bunch of mercenaries who are in here, and we're going to be going up against the villain's forces. This is the first scenario, so it's basically a tutorial. It's going to cover movement, it's going to cover attacking, looting bodies, liberating sectors, and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you through the general how to play of this game so that you have an understanding of what I'm doing, because I'm not going to keep switching between what's going on up here and what's going on my boards, because that would be a pain. So instead, I am just going to basically show you what I'm doing now so that when we play the game, you have an understanding of what's actually happening. So, first of all, let's talk about the tiles we've got here. So, this tile here is a sector. So, a tile is a sector. You can have multiple sectors in a game, and each sector is split into different areas. You've got an A, B, C, and a D on there. That's where enemies are going to spawn. And you also have different terrain types. I'll cover the terrain types when they come into the scenarios. The first scenario, we have two types of terrain types. You've got your regular one, which is white bordered, and you have your jungle borders, which are there. The jungle borders come in handy because when you're in a jungle and an enemy is attacking you, you get to roll a blue dice to help you hide from the enemy. Enemies can't hide in jungles, that's only for your guys. We've also got encounter tokens on the board. The encounter tokens, when they turn up, there's, I don't know, maybe 18 encounter tokens. And once you've used, I've not seen what this is by the way, but once you've used this particular encounter token, it goes to one side. It's removed from the rest of the campaign until you get, you've gone through all your encounter tokens. So basically, we will be seeing this encounter, whatever it is, again at some point, but not for some time. That differs a lot from other kind of games where you have like encounter tokens and things like that, because most of them, you know, every scenario you've got a chance of having the same one turn back up in the next one. But in this case, that is not what's happening. We also have these spawn cards which turn up on sectors we've not liberated yet. So the skull on here says how difficult it is. There's sometimes question marks, sometimes skulls, and we'll get to them as we get to them. But basically, when I get into this sector here, this one here, I'll be flipping this over and revealing what spawned. I know what's going to spawn there because this has been set up in the, well, this has basically been staged in the setup. Say, right, this is the card you're putting in here, so I'll get to it when we get there. Right, I think at this point I may as well talk to you guys about the boards and how you play this game, and I'll introduce you to our three mercenaries that we're taking into this solo game. So our first mercenary is Ivan Dolvich, from killing for Lenin to dying for Lincolns. So what we've got here is, let's start talking about the stamina. So how you do things in this game is you spend stamina to do things. So you can spend a stamina to move one space. You can spend whatever is listed here in numerical format. That's how much stamina you'd pay, that's what you'd get. So if I wanted to move and then shoot, I could spend one stamina and then I'd move my character and shoot. If there's ever any wounds are taken by people, it's first taken out of the stamina and moved into wounds. If there's no stamina in here and you need to take a wound, your character is knocked out. They receive a serious injury, which means they're going to lose one of these fatigue permanently. And if they get another severe injury, this character is dead. You cannot use it again in the campaign. Now, the campaign has 13 different mercenaries you can use. So if we do lose this guy during the campaign, we do have some more people to choose from. On the left-hand side here as well, we have some skills here. Now, you use skills by flipping this leadership token to the used side. This regains start of every turn. You get this back. So what we have here is leadership. This basically enables you to roll whatever dice is in here, and you get that many fatigue is basically regenerated by your other team members. So let's say one of the other team members use their leadership ability, they roll a dice, they got a 1, then we could remove 1 fatigue from Ivan. The next one is durability, which I'll get to in 1 second when I explain these cards down here. And the last one is medical. So you can basically roll this to restore wounds for anyone who's in the same area as you. Okay, let's talk about weapons. So on your weapon, top left tells you what the range is. So this basically means I can shoot anyone in the same space as me or an adjacent space. The number here, like I've said already, that's how many stamina you'd spend to use this action. Anything with a star next to it basically means so if I use 2 stamina here, I would be rolling 1 yellow dice, but I'd get 1 success. On the dice themselves, let me just show you here. You have stars. These are what you want to roll. These are the successes you get. You get 1 success, 2 successes, and you get this expertise thing. Expertise is only used if you have a card or something that enables you to use it. It basically enables you to roll another dice on top of this. So it's kind of like an exploding dice effect. So if I'd rolled this and I had a weapon which had expertise, I could basically claim that one success and then roll this dice again and get any more additional successes after that. Now, it's very worth pointing out because that's something people do get wrong when they're playing this game. People just think, oh, I roll that, I get to roll again and add this. I know I did, but that is not how this plays. Next, we have durability. So at the bottom here, we've got these little kind of spanner icons. What this means is if I want to do this thing down here, so if I wanted to gain suppressive fire, I'd have to basically damage my weapon. So I could put one of these black cubes, put it in there, and it would mean that I get to do the above stuff, but I also get this thing here. So you can reroll 1 attack dice. That's pretty handy. You get rid of these black cubes by using your leadership token to do a repair kind of durability check there. Everyone apart from the character I'm going to next has 2 weapon slots here, so I can use both of these. And then they've also got an armor slot. Armor here, you roll 1 yellow dice, and you can use your durability to add additional dice to it. Bottom right hand corner of these cards has a little 0 in it. This basically means that you cannot upgrade this item. There are various cards in the loot decks which will enable you to upgrade with your weapons and your kind of defensive options, but you need to be able to have like a number in there to be able to do it. Every character has an inventory of 3 as well. So we've got these items. These don't count towards our inventory, but anything else will be kind of put to one side. We also have ally slots at the top, but they won't come in until probably the next or the second scenario or beyond. It's also worth noting every character has a specific ability. So these weapons you can only use once on your turn, but Ivan Dolvich, he can take a wound to use a weapon he's already used this turn, which is pretty handy. Next, we go to Cynthia Fox Guzman. So her special ability is she's ambidextrous, which means she has 3 weapon slots here. She's pretty good at medical, so the dice, yellow's the worst, orange is okay, and red is really good. So she's okay. She's like medium at medical skills there. She's not as good at durability checks, and she can't roll any dice when it comes to leadership. And finally, we have probably my favorite character. That's Kyle Shadow Simmons. Killing an enemy while you're standing in a jungle area skips the enemy activations in your sector after your turn. I'll get to what that means in a second. He's got some decent skills here. He's like a jack of all trades, master of none. He has got a 12 gauge rifle, which is a range of 1, so he can shoot outside of the space he's in. And he's rolling orange dice for this, but they do cost more stamina to actually do this. And he has a tactical vest. Tactical vest, if he's in the jungle and he's trying to hide, he gets an additional dice when he's trying to hide. So if anyone was to be shot at when they're in a jungle, they could use a hide, like a stealth dice to try and hide from that. And Kyle Shadow Simmons, he'd be rolling 2 because of his tactical vest. So let's talk about the enemies here. So we are playing with red shirts and snipers on this level. You have two different modes to the villains in this game. You've got basically like regular enemies, and then you have experienced enemies. Experienced enemies have two chevrons on here, and they are tougher. And for each one of those, so experienced or regular enemies, you also have like an elite version of that one, which uses this yellow track. But for this particular mission, we're using the basic red shirts. So they have 1 hit point. They also have 1 armor. So every time we do damage to them, one of those successes is soaked up by this armor. They do 3 damage. Enemies do not roll dice in this game. They basically just do whatever damage it says on here. So he's going to be doing a mighty 3 damage every time he manages to hit somebody. And his range is 0. So he has to be in the same area as you to be able to actually do damage. And this last one here is what you need to roll to hide from his attack. Like I say, these guys don't use stealth themselves, so they're not stealthing around or anything. But they will be looking for you. Down the bottom here is what he does when he activates, so he moves and then he attacks. How the game works is we pick a mercenary, that mercenary has the activation, and then after they finish their activation, all enemies in this sector will then get to activate. We also have one of these leadership tokens, which all 3 of my characters share because we're playing a solo game. And because we're playing a solo game, they also have 1 additional stamina each. One thing we can do, I have not mentioned yet, is you can do a group move by flipping this over. A group move basically means we can move everybody from one sector into an adjacent sector. So if these guys are like that, I could move these guys that way. Or I could do a group move just to move him down here if I wanted to. The group move doesn't cost any fatigue to do it, so it's a good way to move around the board. With that all being said, I think we're ready to start the first scenario. Welcome to Alruco. The rule of Queen Daedriana has left the country in shambles. It has suffered greatly under her iron fist, and there have been reports of exploitation, unspeakable cruelty, and genocide. Most government services, including education, were terminated approximately 8 years ago. The country also cancelled all recreational and social programs, including public health and welfare. The roaring engines of the old chopper that dropped you on the shithole of an island was deafening. Somebody is sure to have heard you coming. The heat struck you like a wall, and within minutes, you were drenched in sweat. It could only get worse from here. So, our goal is to liberate this sector. So to liberate this sector, we basically have to liberate this sector, and we have done it. So let us begin. I'm going to start off by using Kyle, the Shadow Simmons, my favorite character. He is going to just right out the bat use his 12 gauge rifle to shoot this guy up here. Now I'm using 3 stamina, so I'm rolling 2 orange dice here. Okay, so I got 5. So he's dead. Now, like I said earlier, when he kills his ability, if he is in a jungle and he kills somebody, then the enemies don't activate this turn. So that's great. He's going to use his group move ability to move into this area, and we get to loot this body for free. So draw from the loot deck, and he has found a gun barrel extender. This is a upgrade for a weapon, but none of our weapons can be upgraded yet, but this will give us an additional range. So as the game goes on, you can actually sell these if you want to, but we're going to be using this probably on a weapon if we can find one. So that just goes into his inventory. And do you know what? That's all I'm going to do for Carl Shadow Simmons this round. That'll do. So next, we're going to get Ivan Dolvich, because he has got a better chance of killing this guy here. So he is going to use his group move ability to move into here. So I'm using group move because it means he doesn't have to pay any stamina for this. And then I'm going to use his Mossberg Tactical. So this weapon requires me to use 2 stamina to roll 2 dice. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to put 1 durability on here to mean I can re-roll one of those dice. So I'm rolling 2 yellow dice, I want to get at least 2 successes on here. I can re-roll 1 as well. Okay, so I got 1 success and I'm going to re-roll this one. Oh, 2 successes, nice. So I have killed this red shirt. I get to loot him immediately. And we have found an IOU. During skill action, discard before rolling leadership. So that just, this is a consumable item, so I can just use this. It's a one-off kind of effect. Right, so we've only really got one last place to check. So I'm gonna activate Cynthia Fox Guzman now. And she is gonna move into this area and we're gonna flip this over. Oh, we found a loot item. So great, that's probably one of the better things we can find. So this gets put to one side. We don't use this again in the campaign until we've used all other exploration encounter tokens. So I just draw from the loot deck and we have found a lucky coin. Discard any time to re-roll one of your rolled dice. Now this area we're in is now considered liberated. There's no more kind of enemies in there, so that's great. And also this all these areas now are basically one big area. This is just one big space, so they're all technically in the same area. Okay, so that was every one of my players have activated. So at this point, I'm now going to end my turn. All their leadership tokens come back to the right way up. Everyone recovers 2 fatigue, and now we can begin the next part. So I am going to use activate Carl Shadow Simmons again, and he's going to use his group move action. So move all of these guys into this jungle area here. So we draw this and we see what we spawn. So we have spawned 2 red shirts and a sniper. So 2 red shirts in A and a sniper in B. Sometimes there's a little text in here which says you have to do something, and sometimes there's a reward, but there's no reward for taking this patrol out. So yep, just 2 red shirts in A and a sniper in B. And we just leave this down here for reference. Now the sniper, he's slightly different. He doesn't have any armor. He's got 2 hit points. He does 2 damage, and he can shoot you at anywhere in this sector. It's worth noting that you don't have people attacking from this sector into an additional sector, like adjacent sector. You only ever activate the guys who are in your sector. And if we were ever to leave a sector when it was like half completed, they'd basically replenish their forces. So it's not great. Okay, so Carl Shadow Simmons, we're going to use 3 fatigue to shoot our 12 gauge rifle at this guy. We just need 2 to kill him, and if we manage to kill him, these guys won't activate. So we got 3, so this guy is dead. We're then I'm gonna use his 1 fatigue to move him into here, looting the sniper's body, and I find, oh, an SKS. So this is a weapon which can be upgraded. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna leave Carl Shadow Simmons there. And next we're gonna activate Ivan Dolvich. So Ivan has a weapon that he can shoot from range. So he's gonna use, this bottom one, he's gonna use 2 of his stamina to fatigue to get 1 success. So I'm rolling 1 yellow dice. I need to roll at least 1 to be able to beat him, to kill one of these guys. Oh, missed. Never mind. Okay, so I am going to use his special ability to get him to reuse a weapon he already used this turn. I believe I still have to pay the same amount of stamina for this. So I'm going to do another 2 stamina into his fatigue to roll 1 yellow dice, and I get 1 guaranteed success. So I need 1 or more. Oh, damn it. So I've got some options here. Basically, these guys are both going to activate and move into this zone and attack, which could prove pretty bad for for Ivan Dolvich. But we're gonna leave our turn there. So these guys activate now. They move into here and then they attack. So they're doing 6 points of damage in total, but we do each individual attack separately. So we're going to use 1 durability for the first attack. So we're going to add an extra. We got rolling 2 yellow dice basically. 3 damage coming through. So 1 damage managed to penetrate, which means he's now got 2 wounds and he's got 3 stamina left in his stamina section, which is good because if he doesn't manage to survive this one, then yeah, this will be bad. So we're going to use the second durability on this, and once again he's defended 2, takes 1 damage. So we're going to hope that Cynthia Fox Guzman can take these guys out. She is going to spend, this is her weapon, she's got this. She's going to spend 2 fatigue to roll 1 yellow dice, and yeah, we get 1 success guaranteed. So we need 1 success. 1 success, yay! So she's killed this guy here. And then she's going to use her second weapon, 2 stamina to add a success. Oh, and she fails. So I'm going to discard the lucky coin to re-roll that dice. And it was a fail again. It's now the enemy activation. So the enemy is going to attack Cynthia. So that's 3 damage coming through to Cynthia. She has the same flat jacket as Ivan does, so she's going to spend 1 durability on there. So she's rolling 2 yellow dice. And she got 2 successes, which means 1 damage goes through. So she is wounded. Okay, so now we go back to the mercenaries. Everyone, so who's starting first? So we'll go with Carl Shadow Simmons. He's going to go first. So he restores 2 fatigue. We're going to swap out his 12 gauge rifle. No, we're going to keep his 12 gauge rifle because it's got better dice. So we're going to use his 12 gauge rifle again, 3 stamina. And he's rolling 2 orange dice. Oh, 3. He's dead. We automatically draw 2 cards here. So we've got a new armor, and we've got a smoke grenade. And that, my friends, is the first scenario done. We have liberated this sector and this sector. The region is stable. Well done. You have made your first step on the road to liberating Alruco. Right, well that was it, guys. I hope that was fairly straightforward for you. If you have any questions or comments about what happened, please let me know. And yeah, that was the first scenario from Jagged Alliance The Boardgame. I will be doing the additional scenarios as and when we go on. I've been your host, Adam. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Until next time, stay safe and keep rolling.